Have you ever made a financial decision based purely on emotion, only to regret it later? If so, you're not alone. Money can be an emotional topic, and it's easy to make decisions based on our feelings rather than logic. We all know that money mistakes can have a long-term consequence or can have long-term consequences, but when we're feeling overwhelmed or stressed, it's hard to think about our finances. Unfortunately, these emotions often lead us down the wrong path with our money. Today, we'll discuss 5 common money mistakes people make due to their emotions, and then I'll provide tips on how to take the emotion out of your financial decisions so that you can make smart choices with your money. Hello, and welcome to Rise to Your Money Power, where we have honest conversations to empower you around your relationship with money. I'm Pamela Plick, and I am on a mission to empower women to confidently build wealth from the inside out. I help purpose-driven women to overcome feeling anxious, stuck, or overwhelmed related to their personal relationship with money so that they can become confident, achieve peace of mind, financial freedom, and impact without fear. I do this through my signature programs and services, as well as events and communities. Money decisions can be difficult, especially when our emotions get in the way. We all know that making mistakes with money can have long-term consequences, but it's easy to fall into the trap and make bad choices based on our feelings rather than logic. There's some common emotions that I see that drive our financial decisions. And there's a wide range of emotions, everything from fear to grief to boredom. But today, I want to focus on some key emotions. And the first one is fear. One of the common emotional drivers is fear. The fear of either missing out on a good investment opportunity, the fear of not having enough money for retirement, or fear of not being able to provide for our families. And when it comes to women, the fear is usually a fear of making a mistake. And the next emotion is the desire for instant gratification. It's we often find ourselves wanting to buy the latest gadget or go on a luxurious vacation without considering the long-term consequences. And if you've ever bought anything on the spur of the moment, then you know what I'm talking about. This type of fear can lead us to impulsive purchases and credit card debt that can take years to pay off. The fear of overwhelmed or feeling overwhelmed is another common emotion that can impact our financial decisions. When we feel overwhelmed, we may avoid making financial decisions altogether, which can lead to missed opportunities as well as financial instability. Now, on the other hand, we may make hasty decisions without fully considering the consequences, such as taking on too much debt or investing in volatile stocks, for example. Another common emotion that can lead to financial mistakes is feeling too confident. Yes, feeling too confident. Overconfidence can make us feel invincible and can cause us to take on more risks than we can handle. It's important to recognize your emotional drivers and take steps to overcome them when making financial decisions. And I will give you an easy way to do that. So please stay on to the end, and I will tell you how to recognize your emotional drivers. But by taking the emotion out of your financial decisions and focusing on logic and long-term planning, you can make smart financial choices that will benefit you and your family in the long run. So let's dive in to the common mistakes to avoid when making financial decisions. The first common mistake to avoid is ignoring your finances completely. It's not uncommon for people to avoid looking at their bank statements, credit reports, and investment accounts, especially if they feel overwhelmed or uncomfortable with their financial situation. Unfortunately, avoiding your finances only prolongs the problem and increases the likelihood of making poor financial decisions. By not keeping track of your money, you may miss out on opportunities to save or invest wisely. For instance, if you don't review your budget regularly, then you may overspend or miss opportunities to cut back on expenses. Also, if you don't check your credit report frequently, you may miss errors or fraudulent activities that could impact your credit score. Ignoring your finances can also lead to stress, anxiety, and even feelings of shame or guilt. It's not uncommon for people to feel embarrassed about their financial situation, particularly if they're in debt or have made poor financial decisions in the past. However, avoiding your finances only makes those emotions worse by making it even more difficult to take control of your money. To avoid this money mistake, it's important to face your finances head on, even if it feels uncomfortable at first. In my experience, what I find is in working with my clients that want to avoid looking at their statements or even looking at their financial situation on a regular basis, usually the situation is not as bad as they think it is. So it's important to tackle it head on. And you want to set aside some time to review your budget, your bank statements, and credit reports on a regular basis and seek help or guidance from a professional if you are feeling overwhelmed. By taking an active role in your financial life, you'll be better equipped to make smart decisions with your money and improve your overall financial well-being. Another main obstacle to planning effectively for your long-term financial goals is procrastination. But that's our second step, our second common mistake. We sometimes have a tendency to put off making important financial decisions due to a lack of confidence, as I mentioned earlier. Typically, this lack of confidence is due to the fear of making a mistake. However, delaying financial decisions can have serious long-term consequences. So for example, putting off investing for retirement can significantly decrease the amount of money that you'll have saved for when you finally do decide to start. Additionally, waiting until the last minute to pay your bills or to file your tax return can result in late fees and penalties, further hurting your finances. In addition, procrastination can lead to missed financial opportunities as well. For instance, delaying the decision to invest in a particular stock or a particular mutual fund, or even creating a portfolio can result on missing out or result in missing out on potentially higher returns. Also, taking too long to decide on a loan can result in missing out on favorable interest rates. So to avoid this mistake, it's important to take action and make necessary decisions as early as possible. Develop a plan or a timeline for tackling financial decisions. Break the process down into manageable steps so you don't get overwhelmed, and hold yourself accountable for taking action. Then seek out advice from a trusted financial professional or mentor if you're feeling unsure about a decision. But don't let indecision hold you back from making important financial moves. The third common mistake is doing things the same way you always have. There's a quote that says, "What is the definition of insanity? It's doing the same thing every time and expecting a different result." Have you heard that quote? It's so true. When it comes to managing finances, it's easy to fall into a routine and continue doing things the same way you always have. However, you can this can prevent you from exploring new financial opportunities or utilizing better strategies for saving and investing. Like, for example, if you've always used the same bank for your accounts, you may be missing out on potentially higher interest rates or lower fees, or even better rewards offered by other financial institutions. Also, if you've always invested in the same type of stocks or mutual funds, you may be overlooking other options with stronger growth potential. To avoid this type of mistake, it's important to regularly review your financial habits and explore new options that may be better suited for your needs. This could mean switching to a different bank, trying out a new investment approach, or seeking out new sources of income. By being open to change and seeking out opportunities to improve your financial situation, then you're better equipped to achieve your long-term financial goals. And I want to clarify, when I mean seeking out new opportunities, you want to do your due diligence, you want to do your research, and if you need professional advice or guidance, then you want to get that as well so that you can make an informed decision. The fourth mistake is making short-term decisions with long-term money. I see this a lot with folks that have investments, and when the market is volatile, because they have no strategy, long-term investment strategy, they panic and they sell everything. That's a short-term decision with long-term money. So it's so important to make sure that whatever strategy that you have is in alignment with your values, your long-term financial goals. That way you know that everything is in order because you have a solid, stable, long-term approach to your money. It's also important to remember that financial decisions can have both short-term and long-term effects on your finances. So again, making short-term decisions with long-term money is a common mistake that can have serious consequences. Another example would be if you dip into your retirement savings to pay for a vacation or to make an impulse purchase. You're sacrificing your long-term financial security for short-term gratification. And in addition, taking out a high interest rate loan to cover unexpected expenses may provide temporary relief, but can lead to years of debt repayment. To avoid this type of mistake, it's important to think about the long-term impact of any financial decision. Consider the potential consequences of your actions on your financial goals and stability. Instead of making short-term decisions with long-term money, prioritize your saving and investing for the future. Building an emergency fund and sticking to a budget can also help you to avoid the need to make short-term financial decisions with long-term consequences. Because ideally, just as a side note, ideally you want to have short, intermediate, and long-term savings. So the short-term savings is for emergencies or expenses maybe that are money that's earmarked for expenses that are going to come up soon. Intermediate is for money that that you don't have an immediate need for, but you might be saving it for a longer period, maybe to buy, to put a down payment on a home or a second home, or even maybe in a few years you need to buy a new car. That would be an example of intermediate. And then long-term is typically your retirement accounts. The fifth mistake is not asking for help. Managing your finances can be an overwhelming task at times, especially if you're dealing with debt, investment decisions, or other complex financial matters. Many people make the mistake of trying to handle everything on their own rather than seeking out help or guidance from a professional. However, asking for help can often be the key to improving your financial situation and making sound decisions with your money. A financial planner or other financial professional can help provide valuable insights into budgeting, debt management, investment planning, and other important topics. They can help you to develop a customized plan for achieving your financial goals and providing ongoing support and guidance as you work towards them. By seeking out expert help and advice, you'll be able to make more informed decisions with your money and avoid costly mistakes. Whether you're dealing with short-term financial challenges or working towards long-term goals, a professional can provide the knowledge and expertise you need to succeed. Making financial decisions with your money is an important part of achieving your financial success. And we want to make sure they're smart financial decisions. To avoid common mistakes, it's essential to be aware of the emotions that can influence our choices and regularly review our financial habits. In addition, seeking out professional guidance or advice from a financial professional or financial planner can help you make more informed decisions about budgeting, debt management, and other complex matters that related to managing your finances. So with careful planning and sound decision-making, you'll be closer to reaching your long-term goals for financial security and freedom. So I'd like to recap what we've covered today. We talked about really how to unlock your financial peace, 5 steps to removing emotion from your financial decisions. Number 1, we talked about consequences of allowing our emotions to drive our financial decisions. common emotions that do drive our decisions. And then lastly, we talked about the 5 common money mistakes that people make and what to do instead. So as we begin to wrap up, I'd like to ask you to take some time to reflect on your current relationship with money and ask yourself these 3 questions to help give you greater clarity and to motivate yourself into action. Number 1, what emotions do I need to be aware of when making financial decisions? What is the most important lesson I've learned about making financial decisions? And lastly, what steps can I take to make smarter financial decisions? I have 2 free gifts that I'd love to share with you that will help you take this learning even further. The first gift is for you. If you would like to learn more about your relationship with money and what fears may be coming up and interfering with you moving forward in making sound financial decisions, and that is to take my free money type quiz. It only takes 5 minutes to complete, and it can change your life. My second gift is for you. If you are ready to outline a mini plan so that you can overcome your challenging patterns and challenges and blocks and identify your next steps towards building an empowered relationship with money. If so, I invite you to apply for my Money Power Breakthrough Call. To take advantage of either of these gifts, you can just go to PamelaPlick.com/thank-you. And that's PamelaPlick.com/thank-you. And after you've taken advantage of the free gifts, then I'd love for you to check out my other tools and resources that are available to you to help you to start unlocking your financial freedom and setting yourself up for financial success. And I'd like to leave you with this closing quote. Emotions are powerful, but they shouldn't control your financial decisions. Stay aware of the emotions that come into play and make thoughtful, rational choices. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. Until next time, remember, you can rise to your money power.